Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. We're going to talk about ICE tech and data programs and the different career paths they can lead you to. My name is Nelly, and I'll be the moderator on behalf of the UniMy team. And I'm here with two very special guests. First, I want to present Patricia Bunila, Global Recruitment Manager for ICE tech and data programs. I also want to welcome Killian Martin, I graduate class of 2021. So welcome both of you. But before giving the word to you, I want to tell everyone who is listening that you can ask questions anytime during the webinar using the chat. All questions are welcome, so don't hesitate. I think we are all set now. So Patricia, I'm giving the word to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Nelly, and thank you all for joining this session and for your interest in iUniversity. As Nelly was saying, I'm going to do a brief introduction about our school and our programs, and then we have the great opportunity to have Killian Martin joining us today. So I will be having a conversation with Killian so that he can share a bit more his experience at IE as a student with you, and you can ask any questions you might have during the presentation or after the presentation, okay? So if you don't mind, I'll get started right now. So first of all, I would like to welcome you to iUniversity, which, as you know, is based in Madrid. It was founded in 1973 by three young and Spanish entrepreneurs. And since then, what we've wanted is to help our students become leaders with a global vision, an entrepreneurial mindset, a humanistic approach, and to drive innovation and change within companies and organizations. So thanks to being a student at IE, well, you become is a part of a great network of students. We have more than 50,000 alumni worldwide. You also become part of a network of professors, companies, and you get to share with them hands-on experiences, trends, insights about different businesses today. So how are we going to help you build your own path if you finally come to iUniversity? Well, since IE was founded, as I mentioned before, in the early 70s, students come to IE not only to grow in a professional mindset, but also personal growth. And how do we help them do that? Well, coming to IE means for most of the students that you will be able to study abroad and engage on different multicultural experiences, make friends from other cultures, discover places and travel the world, and build an international network. But also, as I was mentioning, you grow professionally, which is the main idea. We will help you boost or pivot your career. We will help you boost your career and work in a new organization, a new industry, a new function, even geographically. It will help you be able to do that change. And also, we will help you gain the skills to start your new venture. So also thanks to the faculty that we have here at IE, and the fact that you will be surrounded by candidates like you with innovative mindsets, you'll have the freedom to explore and discover your own destination throughout the experience of the year here in Madrid. And we understand that there's no single pathway and that there's not only one right for you. So what we look for when we created our programs is for them to be very customizable. So we offer a lot of options for students, but also we understand that each of you have a specific goal, a specific career goal, and we want to help you achieve that. And that is by giving you options. So one of the options that you have here is the tech and data pathway. And why? Well, because as you all know, over the past 65 years, there were a lot of companies that collapsed due to the inability to innovate. And we're seeing firsthand how agility, creativity is basic in the real realm of data and tech. And they're also empowering businesses to become market leaders. So nowadays, recruiters are more and more looking for candidates with this kind of skills. So we want to help you achieve them. And for who is this pathway geared to? Well, for individuals that understand the importance of technology and that want to become either an entrepreneur with a vision to disrupt a sector, for example, like Killian, or an entrepreneurial actor looking ahead to transform an organization from inside. So no matter your specific career goals, this pathway provides you with the relevant skills, the knowledge, and the methodologies to get ahead of the competition in an evolving tech landscape. And you'll see later on, or if you're really interested in doing one of our programs, that we do not require specific backgrounds for our programs. So what we do look for all of our tech programs are there, as they are technicals, are candidates with strong analytical skills, but it doesn't matter if you do not come with a previous tech background. We are here to teach you and to give all of you the opportunity to gain these skills and be successful in the next steps that you take during your professional career. So why? Well, we will help you experience the latest tech trends, learn from tech pioneers, because all of our professors come from the tech industry, and you will have the chance to learn firsthand things that are going on in the sector, in the companies, firsthand from them. Also, you learn cross-sector skills. You will become a tech leader, and very important, and most importantly, you'll get to understand and align business and technology, which is fundamental because nowadays we have the feeling that, or either your people are very focused on business or on technology, but they do not understand both worlds, and are able to align them, which is fundamental. And also, you have the chance to have innovative learning methodologies. So, in terms of careers, you all know that more and more recruiters are seeking for candidates with big data skills, business analytics, computer science, etc. So there are a lot of roles that are demanding these kinds of skills, and it's a growing trend where more and more companies need this kind of talent. So you will be using these analytical skills to make a huge impact and improve sales, marketing, operations, logistics, and human resources within an organization. Why this? Because tech is prevalent in almost every sector and every company, so there are huge opportunities for you. So the main careers our students end up working at as are as data scientists, business analysts, market researchers, software engineers, tech influencers. As Kilian, start up your own tech startup. We have also a lot of people working in consultancy, digital strategists, also working in artificial intelligence, robotics, and developers. And also we have data architects and data engineers. As I mentioned before, technology is in almost every sector. So if you're interested in healthcare, you can work in tech, but related to healthcare, to retail, banking, insurance. You have many options for you. So that this is also why it's a very interesting pathway for you. Now I would like to move into our programs. We offer different programs, and I'll run one by one now, and I'll give a brief description about them. If you're interested in one of them and want to have another session with me, I will be more than happy. But I will give a brief description today of the 5 programs we have. Okay, so we have the Master in Business Analytics and Big Data. We have the Executive Master in Digital Transformation and Innovation Leadership. We have the Master in Computer Science and Business Technology, and the Master in Digital Business and Innovation. So the Business Analytics and Big Data program is a program that is going to help you on data translation. What we're going to teach you is the ability to translate data into business answers and understand well when extracting data from the different databases, so that you can have to take a solution that has an impact on the company. Okay, you have consultancy experiences, you have hands-on challenges, you will be learning different programming languages, and as I mentioned before, this is the most technical program that we have here at IE. I would say 70% technical, 30% business application. Okay, but basically you will learn how to extract data to take correct decisions within a corporation and have a positive impact on it. I'm very happy to announce also that we've been ranked 7th worldwide in the last QS ranking as the Master in Business Analytics. In this program, lasts 10 months. You have it in English only, it's not available in Spanish. It's a full-time program, and you can take it either in October or in April. We have another part-time program, which I will tell you now about it, but the full-time program only in October and April, and it's based in Madrid with classes from Monday to Friday. The Master in Business Analytics and Big Data part-time is 17 months, so it's a little bit longer, and it starts in January. It has 3 residential weeks in Madrid and 1 in Dubai, and the rest of the program is online, which means that from Monday to Thursday you work online, you participate in different asynchronous forums, and then on Saturdays you have live sessions with your classmates. Then the Master in Computer Science and Business Technology is the next most technical program that we have within our portfolio. And with this program, we want to teach you and help you understand and have a comprehensive approach of what computer science is, and have the skills to work on any area of technology that you wish. It is a little bit less technical than the business analytics program, but it's more general. So you'll see more things, but less in depth. And during this program, we offer 3 certifications, which are the IBM certification, the Google Cloud certification, the Oracle certification, and then the AWS and Microsoft certifications, which are common to all these programs. And as I was saying, you also have the opportunity to work with different companies throughout the program. The program lasts 11 months, it's in English, and it starts in September, okay? And it's full-time format, so Monday to Friday in Madrid. And it also has, apart from these certifications, the opportunity to have different concentrations on artificial intelligence, Industry 4.0, software engineering, or gaming and the metaverse during the elective period. And then we also have a Master in Digital Business and Innovation. During this program, you're also going to work with successful global companies, and what you're going to learn are the latest digital tools, strategies, and technologies so that you can apply it in any business and you can help businesses transition into this new era. And the main core areas where you focus are business function transformation and sector transformation. And you will learn to drive innovation in any business function across different sectors. The program again lasts 11 months and starts in September, and it's a full-time program which is located here in Madrid. And finally, we have the Executive Master in Digital Transformation and Innovation Leadership program, which is also a part-time program, and is for a more mid-level and senior level students with more than 10 years of work experience. So the average year or years of the candidates to do the program is 39 years old, while for the other programs, the profile of the class is for younger profiles. So normally 5 years of work experience, 3 years of work experience is the average. And in this program, in the Executive Master in Digital Transformation, you get the chance to participate in real-life projects that are focused on digital transformation. You also have the chance to participate in executive talks in top companies such as Google, Accenture, or Microsoft. And you have a face-to-face periods, 3 weeks in Madrid and 1 in Shanghai. And again, the format is as the other part-time program, where you have forums from Monday to Thursday where you participate with your classmates and you have to be working in groups. And then on Saturdays, you have the live classes. And for this program also, candidates do not require to have a technical background. And the program is 13 months and it's in English. It starts in June. And as I mentioned before, Madrid, Shanghai, and online is the location of this program. In terms of the admissions process, we have an online admissions process, which means that you need to fulfill an application form and upload different documents that we will be requiring for the admissions process. After you submit all the documents, you get to do an online assessment, which is called KIRA, and you're invited to take part in 2 video calls with the admission staffs along one written assignment. After that, you also have to do an entrance exam, which we admit the GMAT, the GRE, or the IE Global Admissions Test, our entrance exam. For this exam, you do not need a prior preparation. You sign up through the website, and it takes more or less 2.5 hours. So you can do it online whenever suits you best. And once we have these documents, the online assessment, and the entrance exam, if you do have the profile for the program, we will call you for an interview with one of our associate directors of the admissions team, and they will do a personal interview with you. After that, the admissions committee will evaluate your application and will decide whether you've been admitted or not. So the process tends to be quite quick. So if we have all of the documents you're sending on time, and when you send your application, it tends to range between 2 weeks until you have the personal interview, and then 2 to 3 weeks until you have the final decision. Okay. Now, I also wanted to mention a little bit about financial aid and student services. We have a financial aid department that offers scholarships to our students. We have more than 20 different scholarships, and they're given based on merits, on needs, or on diversity. So I encourage you that if you have needs, or you have a merit that you want to apply, do so, because normally they range between 10 to 30% of the tuition fee. And we also have different open agreements with different banks. So if you're interested in some of them, I would also recommend you to contact the financial aid team so that they can give you more information about this. So this is all from my side, Nelly. Now I would like to introduce Killian. So first of all, I don't know if you can you see my screen, or just one second. Can you see my screen, Killian?
No,
No.
we can see you.
Sorry, okay, well, don't worry. Now, I wanted to introduce Killian right now. So, Killian, thank you very much for participating today in this event, because when deciding if you want to do a program or not, I think that the most useful opportunity is to speak to either a current student or an alumni that can share their experience. So, thank you very much, and I'm sure that it will be very valuable for all the people participating. So, if you don't mind, Killian, could you give us a brief introduction about your professional life until today, and tell us briefly why did you decide to head back to school, and why then?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for having me. Great to give some perspectives on my journey, especially around the master's in computer science that I completed at IE. So my background was initially a business background. After studying business, I joined a consultancy and was with them for almost 4 years overall. But basically what I noticed is I started out from the business side, did a lot of strategy work, and then moved more and more into technical topics like product management. And the interesting thing for me there was that even though with some curiosity for the tech topic, I could already add some value, I understood that basically the deeper I would be into technical topics, the more value I could add, not only in consulting, but in a lot of different scenarios. I guess I'll touch upon this later. I have I have a startup currently myself. So basically the technical experience for that is great. But can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So basically my journey again, understood that I wanted to basically have a more in-depth experience in the technology world, and then looked for a program like the one that I ultimately studied at IE that basically would help me to push deeper into the technical topic and get some practical experiences of actually not only consulting people on technical solutions, but also doing things myself. And yeah, this has been my journey to the masters.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing. And about the master, Killian, what would you say were the modules, the subjects, or what you found more exciting during your time here at IE?
Sure. I would say ultimately this is kind of like a straight line from my previous answer. The most exciting things for me were ultimately the courses where we really were actually doing some project work or some coding work, where basically we could really apply what we had learned, and there were numerous experiences around this. So basically we did multiple projects where in small groups of students we ultimately would really code solutions, and then also present to company executives that basically came to the final presentations of different classes, or even were teaching the classes. And this has been a great experience to basically maintain like the helicopter perspective on a lot of topics, even though you're basically coding yourself and creating the tech yourself. And I think this has been great, like great different levels of perspective on doing the masters, and I really enjoyed it. But to be a bit more concrete, some of the courses that I loved were basically around some of the artificial intelligence topics you mentioned with IBM. And the funny thing about this is actually that tomorrow I have a call with one of my former professors from IBM to discuss some artificial intelligence solutions for my own startup that I launched this year. So actually, great to be in touch still and gain some additional perspectives from the network that I built during that time. And
That's great to hear, because that's actually something that I was mentioning before. Our faculty, it plays also a fundamental role in doing these kind of programs because of that. They come from the industry, so that's a great link between our students and the industry. And if you have the chance to have a great relationship with them, as you, Killian, is a great advantage and a great opportunity for you to have that access to that network that perhaps you wouldn't have ever had. And having a conversation tomorrow with someone who was your teacher from IBM and that will help you, that's amazing. So I'm very happy to hear that, Killian. Thanks for sharing.
Definitely, of course. And I mean, apart from that, for the masters in computer science specifically, a lot of decoding experiences were great, where you basically built a little bit of your own tools, and ultimately like learning to code. Some people were a bit scared about, I would say, even in my masters, but ultimately I can just calm you down about this. You will figure it out. Ultimately, it's nothing more than logic written down in some kind of language that is not English, but another one. And you basically just learn this over time, and it has been proving super valuable for me, because ultimately now, again, in my current startup, I basically directly talk to the software engineers that work for us and basically help them, even like looking at their code, helping them brainstorm on solving some of the issues that they might have. So this has been super exciting. So again, some of the company-related artificial intelligence, Google Cloud, AWS topics, but then also the very practical courses where we really got to jump into coding stuff ourselves. And these were, I would say, my highlights throughout the courses.
And for example, about the certifications, why do you think it's important to at least take one, or or if you think it's important, perhaps you do not recommend students taking certifications, but what do you think about certification, and would you recommend to take them and take the opportunity that we offer them here at IE?
Sure. I actually have an answer to this question that is, again, kind of too good to be true, I would say. So basically, I took one certification with Google on Google Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And part of our infrastructure currently at my startup is also running on Google servers. And they have a program for startups where you get like a lot of free credits for cloud infrastructure from Google that normally costs a lot of money. And that is basically normally targeted at startups that are a bit older than we were, like roughly 1 year ago when I applied for that program. And ultimately, initially, they were rejecting me. And then I basically pushed back and said, hey, but I am really like into Google. I have this certification, cloud architect, la, la, la. And then ultimately, they reconsidered and admitted us to the program. So
because of the certification.
Exactly. I mean, I can't know for sure, but the certification was part of my way to persuade them to change their mind. So this was great. And I mean, this is now the more extrinsic use I had out of the certification. Flipping a bit to the intrinsic side of things, it has been also a great experience to basically prep yourself through lectures, but also through some personal experimentation and some reading for these certifications, because ultimately these are basically the industry standard. These are like basically what software engineers outside in the real world basically also try to attain to market themselves towards future employers. So ultimately, this is really realistic, like very realistic company scenarios, for example, in these certifications, where basically you get asked to decide on even sometimes small mini scenarios from the companies. For example, this is the case at the Google certification, where they basically say, the company has the following infrastructure, but they're experiencing issues. How would you optimize it? What would you do? And then you have to answer in multiple choice, but it's actually not as easy as a normal multiple choice. You really have to understand the nuances of these technical services in order to reply in a proper way. So that ultimately was for me also on the intrinsic side, like a great learning process to see a lot of different things from these technical platforms like Google. apart from that, we also did an Oracle certification in my year, basically around databases. That was also interesting. Had less touch points with that afterwards, but yeah, well, it was also very interesting.
So you took the three of them.
Yes, I did.
Perfect. Now, well, in your year it was compulsory to take the three of them. Now it's up to you can opt to take them or not. But I would definitely, as Kilian was saying, is something that come across like best practices in the sector. So I would definitely encourage you to take at least one if you participate in this kind of programs. Perfect, thanks. And what about the capstone project? Did you find it interesting as a way to finish the program?
Yeah, it was cool. So ultimately, the capstone project is basically a project that happens at the end of the entire course, as you might have heard before. And this is basically a way to integrate what you've learned over like a lot of different lectures. And the cool thing about the capstone project is also that basically it forces you to really, as I said, integrate the different learnings and not see them so much in a silo. Because ultimately this can happen fast if you have one lecture on artificial intelligence, one on databases, one on, I don't know, business and tech, and then you kind of forget the bigger picture, even though like the professors tell you about it, but still like you are so in the silos. But then with the capstone project, basically it really forces you to bring everything that you've learned together. And what was a cool experience there as well is basically to be able to pull in some of the professors from the classes before and basically learning how to do what I'm now doing, to basically reach out to experts from your network and basically bring the expertise together in like a functioning product. So for me, this was a great simulation of the real world, basically pulling all the strings together from the different courses. So had a really good time there as well.
That's great.
And I mean, quite honestly, it was also like the typical university project. Also, not gonna lie about this. So basically, very heavy, not front loaded. You do everything in the last second, but it's a great experience also to kind of under a lot of pressure try to produce like a running, in this case, piece of software. So has been a great experience.
That's great. And actually, it's something related to that because you were mentioning you have a great load of work. So, what about other experiences beyond the core curriculum that you could find interesting? For example, I don't know if you got the chance to participate in any clubs or life apart from the core curriculum that you could share with us that you found interesting.
So I have to admit, for me, since there was still some COVID impact, I had a bit of a less like vibrant club experience. But I talked to a lot of students that basically had been at IE before also, and they were saying that this is really like a core part of their experience at IE. And overall, we were basically also trying at some point to initiate a club on product management that had not been existing at that point. And kind of that made me feel the spirit that basically there's a lot of support from the universities, university singular in this case, and basically helping you to really like connect, bring in companies for like an evening mixer or whatever, to basically really push into some topics that might be of interest for all of you that go beyond the regular curriculum that you might be pursuing. So I've heard great things about the clubs as well. And ultimately, I would say for me, the experience was a bit more like kind of live and study kind of focused, not so much like next to the studies, bigger part of the university life. But I'm sure that could be actually very enriching to have like kind of this middle ground that is basically a bit less serious than the normal university courses, but is more fun as well. So like I can imagine this is to be a great experience.
Yes, I can imagine that for you was tough, given that you came on a different timing and school wasn't so normal as now. But yes, it's part of the experience, and students actually really enjoy the part of the clubs because, as you mentioned, if you're interested in something that, for example, there are no clubs existing, you can create it, you can organize the events, you can speak to different companies, etc. And it's also a way of meeting people from other programs, which can also enhance your network. So perfect, Kilian. And another question, this is more personal. Sorry,
no, just 1 second on this, because I just saw in the chat a question from Juan, and maybe this is a good moment talking about the extracurricular activities around class to answer to that, because he was basically asking about programs that help you kickstart into startup life next to classes. And I think this is exactly one of the key strengths of IE as well, that basically there's quite a vibrant startup life with some, quite honestly, I forgot the name now. What maybe you can help me out.
Campus Life?
No, I meant like the startup, that there's this startup program that basically has like some...
the Venture Lab.
Exactly, the Venture Lab.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't participate myself in this, quite honestly, but I heard great things, and this is exactly what Juan is alluding to. So ultimately, this is basically a program that runs next to the classes, kind of like a club, where you have multiple intakes per year. You can apply with your startup idea, and then you basically receive some coaching and basically get ready to pitch in the end. And then sometimes I heard that startups even get some first funding from investors out of this. And I think this is exactly one example of how like the extracurricular life at IE is great for students. And but ultimately for all of this, and even like for the lectures, for example, my connections to the professors, ultimately it's really up to you to kind of structure your life at university, because you can just come to the lectures and basically listen, or not even that, or you can like really engage with the professors, with your fellow students, with what other things the university has to offer. So you can really shape your personal experience there quite a bit.
Exactly. Actually, apart from that, I didn't mention before in the presentation, but apart from the student services team, the campus life team, which is the one that organizes all the campus initiatives, etc., we also have a talent and career department, which helps our students with their job search. And I also encourage you to take the most out of all of the things that are going on campus, because as Kilian said, it depends on you. We're not at school, so we won't be behind you asking you to participate in an event, participate in a club, go and see your talent advisor, etc. But if you take the most out of everything that's going on campus, you'll have an amazing experience for sure, because there's a lot. And also it gives you, I think the most valuable thing that it gives you is the opportunity to get to meet other people that you never know if you're going to partner with them and create your own startup in the future, or in the future you'll need to call them for a meeting like Kilian tomorrow. So I would encourage you to take the most out of the entire experience, not only the academic part.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, and Kilian, how would you say, because you came from a business background, but now you have your own startup. So how would you say, or which 3 things would you say have helped you transition into this world thanks to the program?
So I would say, first of all, a very important point is that if you basically go from work back to school, it gives you a sense of freedom. It gives you a sense of like space to think about what you want to do afterwards, because you are basically not working every day 9 to late, and basically have some space to think about it. And second, at the same time, you get a lot of stimuli into your life. You know, you as we just said, you talk to a lot of people, you hear about very different topics, and basically this helps you to really form an opinion. And then third, I would say, you talk to so many other people that are basically in your position, and basically also are trying to figure out like what to do afterwards, what would be the next step. So basically you can really discuss there a lot.
Yes, thanks. Now, I'm going to ask you to give some advice to the people who are connected. So what advice would you give to people that are about to start their careers in tech?
So I would say one big advice there is to first don't underestimate yourself. Like basically you can figure out a lot of things on the job. You don't have to know everything, especially if you're transitioning from like a non-tech background to a tech role. Nobody expects you to be perfect at the start. Just trust in yourself and basically push into it. And then second, I would say you have to bring like a lot of curiosity in order to figure it out, and basically not just stay at your level of ignorance about some topics, but to basically improve and actually mature into the role. Because of course it's not enough to basically start into the job not knowing anything and then you don't improve. That doesn't work. But basically what works is like to be really curious, to ask a lot of questions also on the side next to the job, or basically in this case, because your question was how to transition into it, basically before starting the job, try to kind of really like also in your free time to read some blogs, to read whatever on TechCrunch about some upcoming technologies, try to like code some things by yourself. But I have to admit, and this was basically why I made the choice to join this master's, for me to kind of have some structure in that transition was quite crucial. Because to fully do this by myself and basically go to Coursera and learn to code by myself without any structure wouldn't have worked for me. And I would have missed out on, as we said, a lot of these connection points, but also a lot of stimuli that I wouldn't have pulled in myself. So basically, that's why I would say like don't be afraid, be curious, but maybe also look for kind of a structured way to do that transition, because without any structure, it might be difficult to do it.
Perfect, thank you. Just one last question I have for you before answering any other questions that might be on the chat. But also, we were mentioning about the experience of coming to school abroad and how the experience in Madrid could be. So, advice for students moving to Spain for starting a new timing of their lives living in a country abroad. So what would you say? You can be honest about Spain. I'm not gonna so what would be the advice that you would give them so that they can adapt well to our culture, to the school, to enjoy the maximum and take the most out of the program?
Yeah, so I would say what is very important is basically that you kind of try to really indulge into the life there, and basically don't spend all of your time studying or practicing for your job transition or whatever, but basically just enjoy. Because for me, it was my journey with Spain was actually quite funny, because I had never been to mainland Spain before I started my master's. I've been to the islands, I guess almost all of them, many times, but never to mainland Spain. And it was super exciting for me to be in Madrid and to kind of live the life. And after class, I remember many nice afternoons when basically after class, we basically directly went for some beers right out of the university building. And so this was just a super cool experience to basically just really indulge into the life and enjoy, and like leave some of the stress of the job and the studying behind after you leave university in the afternoon. So I would say like to just be open and just jump in, and don't take yourself too seriously, don't take life too seriously. Big words, but I think that's what I would recommend. Now you're on mute, sorry.
Sorry, it's a year to test, to try new things.
Exactly.
You're at school, so if you fail or you don't do things as well as you had imagined, we're here to learn. So it's a great opportunity to step aside, think, do new things, try new things, and get to learn and enjoy everything. So
maybe one thing I forgot actually. So this was actually super cool for me as well, to kind of like make it even a conscious point to spend some time with some of your Spanish classmates. Is a bit calculated, I admit, but at the same time, a complete different access to the life if you are with locals. Just, I don't know, heading out to a restaurant with locals is such a different experience than it is if you are trying to just go with a group of non-Spanish international students. So basically, this is something that I would try as well if I were you.
Exactly. Perfect, Kilian. Well, I don't have any more questions for you. I think you've shared quite a lot, and thank you very much. So I assume, Nelly, that we open the floor for questions.
Yes, great. Thank you, Patricia, for this very informative presentation, and Kilian for sharing your experience. I would like to start with a question that it's rather for me, and the question is this webinar being recorded? The answer is yes. We are going to send you the recording afterwards, together with the contacts of Patricia, and you can ask any questions you may have about the program. Now, next to another question, there is someone here saying that they are self-taught data scientists, and they think this program will be great for them because of the structured learning. And this gives me the chance to ask you, Patricia, what is the background that you're looking for in your prospective candidates and people that are signing up for your programs in terms of educational background, experience? Can you share?
Yes, well, as I mentioned before, we do not have a specific background that we look for. We take a holistic approach when evaluating candidates, and this means that we look for well-rounded candidates in general, and we look for a class that can be diverse. So we do not look for only one specific type of candidate, like only candidates coming from engineering or candidates with a tech background. No, for all of the programs, we admit candidates coming from different backgrounds. What we do look for, and I think it's very important to mention this, is candidates that have strong analytical skills, because the programs are technical, they are difficult if you don't have those skills, and it's something that is going to be fundamental for you to either succeed or not in the program. So I would say definitely analytical skills, but then we take a holistic approach when evaluating them. So we look for well-rounded profiles that can bring value not only to their classmates, but also to IE in general as a future ambassador.
Thank you very much. We actually don't have a lot of questions in the chat, but I want to give a little bit more time to our participants to join in. And I want to ask Kilian something that I love asking. And it's what was the thing that surprised you the most during this program? Sometimes people share with me, I was surprised that I enjoy maths, or I was surprised that I'm very sociable. So what was the thing that surprised you the most or you enjoyed the most during the program?
So I would say what surprised me the most was basically how much fun I had with this transition from like the super high level strategy work that I did at, in my case, McKinsey before, moving into like the sitting in front of my computer, writing code to make websites do funny things, or not websites sometimes. So basically this was super exciting for me to basically switch perspectives, and I think this helped me a lot also for my startup life currently, to basically be happy to push into the operational details. Right now, in the room next to me, my co-founder is sitting, and we are folding test kits for our boxes with our team. So basically, to not be afraid of really diving into the details, I think that has been a great transition as well for me, and that surprised me.
This is great to hear. And I'm taking the moment to tell everyone that Patricia and Kilian have shared their contacts in the chat. So if you want to reach them and if you have more questions, you can do that. We have a question about tuition fees. Patricia, can you share a little bit more information about that?
Yes, I see you're asking, Juan, about the tuition fees. Each program has a different tuition fee. You can find them in the website of the different programs. If you go to each of the website, you go to tuition fees and funding, and you'll see the price. But just so you have an idea, more or less, the Master in Computer Science and Business Technology cost 35,200 euros. The Master in Business Analytics and Big Data, 42,200 euros, if I'm not mistaken, and the Master in Digital Business Innovation, 35,200 euros.
Thank you very much. There are no more questions in the chat box. I do not have more questions. So any final words? Maybe Kilian, your best advice, how people can take the most of this program?
I will have to repeat myself, but basically just jump in, don't be afraid, and don't take everything too seriously. Try to have fun while learning. This would be my recommendation.
This is a great advice. Thank you very much. Patricia, any last words from you?
Yes, I would give you the advice to try it, because I have many people speaking to me being afraid of leaving their jobs for 1 year, but 1 year is nothing. Kilian knows it, that you come the first day of classes and suddenly you're graduating. So it gives you perspective. It gives you the option of thinking, as Kilian was mentioning, about your next steps. And it's a great opportunity for you if you have that idea to do it. So I encourage you to not be afraid of leaving your jobs and try it, because it's going to boost your career for sure. Nowadays, these kind of skills are fundamental, so you won't be losing an opportunity. On the contrary, you will be gaining it. So I encourage you to try new things and be testing. So thank you very much for participating.
Thank you both again. For everyone who is listening, we are going to follow up with you with more information and recording. We wish you best of luck in your academic journey. Bye, everyone.